Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. This week's video is my 25 creative goals for 2025.
Hey, I am Nochola the Drawer, an artist and adventurer from the UK. Let's get creative.
Let's get started with my 25 goals of 2025. Why am I sharing this with you on this channel? It's because I want you to dream big and explore your creativity. I share with you my creative goals for this year to inspire you to sit down, think about what yours are, write them down and go after them. Now this is my 4th year doing this, creating my list of goals that gets bigger with each year and then sharing it with you and the progress of how I get on with each of those goals throughout the year. So now that we're on 25 for 2025, I want to think about a better way that I could do this that makes it more organised and it makes more sense in my head because 25 is a lot of goals. So this year I've divided my 25 creative goals of 2025 into 4 different categories. These categories are organisational goals, creative making goals, pitching goals and practical goals. Now there's a different number in each of these categories, but I'm going to go through each of those 4 categories and the goals that are in those so that you know what mine are for 2025, and maybe you can think about doing the same if you want to go for a big number of goals but you want to break it down into something that makes sense to you. So I've got my diary of 2025, I've got my list of 25 goals, and today is the 10th of January 2025. I've left it a little bit later this year to set my goals as I think you need that time to actually think without the stress of the new year, without having to dive straight into them, and make sure that you're creating a list that's for you, not what other people expect of you or what you think other people want you to pursue. So it's really your creative goals and what you would like to go after this year, whether that's big or small. This is the first category. I've got 4 organisational goals for 2025. So the first 4, here we go. Number 1 is be more consistent on YouTube. There's always a YouTube goal in my list, and this one is because the last year was my least consistent year with YouTube, but it's still grown because of all the content that I created previously. And so I want to have a plan for YouTube. I was very much in the habit previously of weekly video, and so I would like to get back in the habit of it. Whether that's dividing up between what shorts I do and what different categories of video I do each week, but I want to get back in the habit because I enjoyed doing it, and last year I dropped off and didn't create as much as I would like to. So be more consistent with YouTube, and that starts with this video, the first one of the year. Number 2, be more organised with tracking contacts. Now this is with the idea of I always create Google Sheets to track clients, track communication. I have so many Google Sheets, but I would like to make sure that I'm revisiting the tracking that I'm doing and updating it so that I just feel more organised basically. Number 3 is to create a marketing strategy. Now last year I went to some business events about marketing and having that consistent plan, and I haven't really had a plan previously, so I would like to make a plan that I can stick to that works for me. Number 4 is each week pick a goal that I'm going to work on that week. This is to help me break down all those lists because each goal is going to take more than a week to reach, so I need to be consistently making steps towards it. And sometimes in previous years I've then been like at the end of the month I've been like, oh, I'm nowhere closer to that, I haven't attempted that. So this is a way that each week I can have a look at that list and be like, what can I do this week on that list to get me closer? So then I'm actually making progress each week of the year, even if it's small, but it means that I'm revisiting that list, which is what I feel like I didn't do last year, is I didn't revisit the list enough to remind myself and pursue some of those goals. So they're my 4 organisational goals. Not the most glamorous goals, but they're going to help me to get to the more exciting ones. So the next set of goals is in the category of creative making. So let's go in with goal number 5. Do a painting a month. Now that might not sound very much. It just means that consistently throughout the year I will have done 12 paintings and then that means that I've got a collection of paintings. I've done this in previous years where I've done create a mural a month or create an illustration a month, so it's of a certain theme. So this just helps me to keep on track. I know that throughout the year I'm making progress with something and creating something each month. Number 6, create an outdoor trail. So whether this is a painting trail, a sculpture trail, or something that brings them all together, I would like to do an outdoor trail. I'm very passionate about the outdoors, about art outdoors, and so I would like to create some sort of trail with artwork outside. Number 7, I would like to do a tile mural. I am obsessed with tiles. Wherever I go, I'm looking at floor tiles, tiles on the wall. Like when I travelled through Turkey and Italy, there's just so much amazing tile work in artworks. I love clay, so it's also would like to see how you can kind of segment a mural into all these little squares that then come together to create a large scale mural. And it's a different way of working with the mural to do it with the tiles. So I would love to create a tile mural. Number 8 is to create an AR mural, augmented reality mural. Something that's been on my list for a while if you've seen previous years, and still something I really want to pursue. Number 9 is to create a mosaic sculpture. 2 years ago I created my first ever mosaic, which is a 3D sculpture, and I would like to do more of that. So if it's on my list dedicated to this year, then I will make sure I do it. Number 10 is to each month add an illustration to my area of Creative Explorer. This is my illustrated postcard series that I've added to previously, that illustrates some of the stories of my adventures when I'm out in different countries exploring, connecting, and those experiences into an illustration. And I really want to create a huge amount of these, so by having it dedicated each month that I have to add one means that I will do it. Number 11, create for a festival. This is with the idea that it's a festival that is not a street art festival, but something, a different festival. Then I'm creating artwork for that. Number 12 is print or paint on fabric. It is what it is. Number 13 is Paint More Part of Me series. This is a series of paintings that I've done 3 of. One is here in the background, and so I'd like to add more to that series. Number 14 is work with a manufacturer to create a public sculpture. Now, if you saw a couple of years ago, I did my DYCP into exploring sculpture for public places, and it's something that I've developed, but I haven't yet created a sculpture for public space, and I'd love to work with a manufacturer to do it at a really high level. Number 15, I'd like to design site-specific installations. So this is the idea. It's not a mural, it could be anything else that's site-specific and could transform the place. And so I've said design them because I'd really like to use a program to design them for spaces. I don't know any 3D programs where I can do that. I haven't experimented with that, so I would really like to use a 3D program or something to digitally design for different spaces, so I can do mock-ups with the idea that then eventually I would create these installations. Number 16, I would like to illustrate, paint more female adventure stories. Whether this is athletic, travel, I just really like to share the stories of female adventurers and explorers and athletes. Okay, so that is my 12 creative making goals, and now we're going to move on to the next category. The next category is pitching goals. I've got 4 of these, so we are on goal 17, get an Italian client. I would love to work in Italy more, so I'd like to get some Italian clients and work with them. Parlo italiano, il mio nome Nocciola è italiano e ho vissuto lì anni fa. So I'd really like to use my Italian language. I would like to, I just am in love with Italian culture as well, so I'd love to work with any Italian client. Yeah, whether that is in an illustration way or whether that's in mural way or any way basically. So I need to pitch to Italian clients to get Italian clients. Number 18 is to apply to more street art festivals abroad. I love working in different countries, so I would really like to pitch more to other places and to get to work there. Also, it's a lot warmer than the northeast of England if it's painting outside. Number 19, I'd like to pitch to talk on more panel talks. Me talking at an event or as part of a panel. I'd really like to do more talking gigs. I really enjoyed doing some of these last year, and I would like to build my portfolio of talking at events. So to do that, I need to pitch. And number 20, I'd like to pitch for 6 big projects this year. So I wanted an actual number to follow, and so when I'm saying pitch to 6 projects, might not necessarily be that I get 6, but it's the aim. When I say big, one thing that I mean by that is projects that are over 15,000, like a big budget project. So I'd like to pitch for 6 of these to make sure that I'm actually going for these bigger projects. And the last category, practical. So I've got 5 practical goals. Number 21, research site-specific artists. I think it's really important to do research on things that you want to grow into, and so I have this as one of my creative goals, because if I do the research, then I learn more about it, and then I can apply that to my practice. Number 22 is do an artist residency. Never done an artist residency before, so I'd really like to do one this year. Number 23, update the illustration part of my website. I'm always, every year, updating my website. It's one of those things that at the end of every year I'm like, oh, I don't like my website, I need to redo it. But on my illustration part, even though I've updated parts of it, it is just kind of just the image of my illustration. It doesn't really have the broader picture, information about the clients, information about personal projects. Like, I just don't think that it shows off what I can do. So I really want to dedicate time this year to doing that. Number 24 is create an artist CV. Now, if you were someone that maybe went to art school and you knew that you were already going to be a fine artist, or you might have known to already do this, but I actually don't have an artist CV. I have a CV that shows my experience, but it's not in the same way that if you look at some artist websites, they have a CV that shows their exhibitions, the press, each year, what they've done. So I'd really like to create an artist CV that shows off the things that I have done. So for example, like I had the DYCP funding. I haven't actually even got that written anywhere on my website. So I really would like somewhere that references the things that I've created, been a part of, done. And number 25 is get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. This is the year. I know I said that last year and I didn't dedicate myself enough to it. But as of today, I am on 686 subscribers. So it's not far to go, considering the first 300 was so hard. But I know what will help me get that is being consistent with YouTube and uploading and putting things out there and sharing with you. So that is my 25 creative goals for 2025. I hope you enjoyed the year. I'm going to break it down into revisiting where I'm getting to with these goals in my 3-month, 6-month, 9-month and year videos, which I have done in previous years, not last year. I think it's a great way to check in, also remind you to check in with your goals and see where you're at. Because if your creativity is a business, you want to check in. That's what businesses do. They check in each quarter. So let's do the same with each other. Let me know in the comments below if you have written your 25 goals for 2025. I'd love to hear what some of them are. I look forward to working on our goals together and seeing where we get to by the end of this year. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe and give me a thumbs up and let me know what you're most excited about this year. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you for the next creative adventure.
Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell.